Doris, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm here to talk about progesterone. And if you're watching this on the replay and you have any questions about anything that I say during this video, just comment down below and I'll get back with you. Thank you so much for watching. So the bottom line is that progesterone is the missing hormone in bipolar disorder. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. If you are having clinical depression, mood swings, racing thoughts, if you hallucinate, all of these symptoms are caused by low progesterone levels. And so, in order to restore your mental health, to reverse these symptoms, you simply need to restore your progesterone levels. That's it. Progesterone is the hormone that is responsible for interpreting your moods. Progesterone is your body's mood stabilizer. What does that mean? That means that if this hormone isn't in place in your brain cannot determine how you're feeling, and it's going to start misinterpreting your moods, and it will cause you to feel things that do not feel good. Anyone who has bipolar disorder, you know that the disease makes you feel very deep, bad feelings, sad feelings, scary feelings. Emotions are all over the place. You can't contain them. The way that I describe it is it's like your feelings are on lighter fluid. So this extinguishes the intensity of the moods, the instability of the moods. Progesterone stabilizes moods. And people who have bipolar disorder, it doesn't matter if you are a male or female, that is a clear indicator that progesterone is missing. Okay? So if you want to do more research on low progesterone, you can research the term estrogen dominance, even if you're a guy, because men have estrogen dominance too. Progesterone balances estrogen in the male and the female brain. And when progesterone is missing, estrogen is operating in our brains, those of us who have bipolar disorder, and it's extremely toxic, it's extremely painful, and it is damaging. It is the worst. And I can talk about this because I've come out on the other side. I can talk about what it feels like to be high on estrogen and low on progesterone because I lived with bipolar disorder for many years. And if you have bipolar disorder, guess what? You also have experience. You know what it feels like to live in a body that doesn't have the progesterone that it needs. You know what it feels like to feel the effects of estrogen. Men and women, we both have estrogen in our brains. In the male brain, your brain converts your testosterone into estrogen because estrogen has specific roles in the brain. So none of the hormones are bad, they all serve a purpose. But when they are out of balance, it can be torture. It can cause disease and it can cause devastation. So, the good news is that you don't have to suffer with bipolar disorder anymore. You simply need to give your body the progesterone that it needs, okay? And I was just thinking of something the late Dr. John Lee said. Dr. John Lee is the doctor that I first discovered progesterone, and that low progesterone could make you sick. This is back in November of 2006 when I read this book. And Dr. Lee was basically saying that all diseases stem from normal natural processes that are broken in the body, and that is what causes diseases to express. So that's true about bipolar disorder, and I think it's so important for you to understand, like, how do I have this disease? Do we have these diseases because we have a Zyprexa deficiency? Do we have these diseases because we have a what's the other drug, Cymbalta or Zoloft or Paxil or Prozac deficiency? No. Nobody has bipolar disorder because we have a psychiatric medication deficiency. So that means that psychiatric medications are not fixing the underlying cause. A very wise subscriber on this channel said that psychiatric medications, they calm the storm, but they don't get rid of it. And so when you are in the storm of bipolar disorder, when you are dealing with the mood swings, the mania, it's not good enough just to take some meds to kind of gloss it over and the disease is still there. When you take progesterone, you are fixing the underlying cause. When you restore your progesterone levels, that takes away the need for psychiatric medications. If you are on psychiatric medications, you can take progesterone and your psych meds at the same time. Of course, please talk with your prescribing doctor and let them know that you will be starting hormone therapy, because what will happen as your progesterone levels are restored, you will actually not be able to tolerate taking your psych meds and you will need to have them lowered. So you'll need to talk with your doctor about how to safely wean yourself off. Now, I'm thinking about this. If you ask your doctor to be weaned from your medications, he or she may panic, because psychiatrists, they're not telling us about progesterone, because unfortunately, psychiatrists are not taught about preventative medicine. And I guarantee you, if you're a psychiatrist, if he or she, or the majority of them, if they had bipolar disorder themselves, they would be looking for preventative options. They would not just be happy with taking meds or psych meds and say, oh, okay, I just hope for the best. No, they would be looking for solutions. And everything that I say about progesterone is backed up in PubMed. So if you are somebody who loves research, go over to PubMed, which is an online database that has millions of free articles where you can go and read and learn about progesterone's roles in the brain if you are so inclined to do so. Okay? So that's it. That's what my channel is all about. I talk about progesterone, and I'm just trying to get this message out and let people know that they don't have to be in their disease state anymore. But it's not enough for you to watch a video hearing me talk about progesterone or to even tell you that I recovered. That will do nothing to improve your health. The only way the only way that bipolar disorder, is reversed in the body is by you supplying your body with the progesterone that it needed. When I read Dr. Lee's book about hormones, and when I read this book, I was like, wow, I need progesterone. Reading the book didn't heal me. Buying the progesterone cream didn't heal me. Taking the progesterone cream day in and day out for 6 months straight until my levels were restored healed me. So in order to reverse your bipolar disorder, we know that progesterone is needed, but you must take enough. You must take enough in order for you to heal. It's reversible. You don't have to live in your disease state anymore. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's true. It's true. I am a living witness. I was diagnosed with type 1 bipolar disorder when I was 19 years old. I had the kind with psychotic features. I used to hear what I thought were demons. I had no idea I was hallucinating at the time. I just thought I was cursed. I used to hear, spirits. I used to see things. This was my life. I've been seeing things and hallucinating since I was in high school. I remember being in my junior year of high school, 16 years old, and going through these motions. Even before, many of you can relate to it, even before you were diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Did you have symptoms before you were ever diagnosed? I did. I had depression. I used to have migraine headaches that would be so severe I thought I was having aneurysms. I thought I was going to die. This was even before the bipolar diagnosis. Anxiety was severe, and then my sleep was interrupted, and then we're just walking around trying to live. We're trying to fake it until we make it. But the good news is that we don't have to fake it until we make it anymore. We can address these issues at their core. We can look at the underlying cause and we can heal. We can take the progesterone that our body needs. Okay? So I think I've said everything about progesterone. I'm going to come back in my next live video and just tell you how wonderful this hormone is. If anybody's watching right now, do you have any questions before I log off? Or I can just keep talking. Progesterone is the missing hormone in bipolar disorder. If you have clinical depression, if you have mood swings, if you have mania, if you are hearing or seeing dead people or hearing demons or spirits or any type of hallucination, this is a sign and an indicator that your progesterone levels are low. We now know. Now when I look at the DSM-4, the diagnostic manual where how mental illnesses are like coded and diagnosed, when we look at the DSM-4 and we're looking at how bipolar disorder is classified, what we're actually looking at is the classification of symptoms that result from progesterone being missing in the body. When we are experiencing bipolar disorder, when we see someone with bipolar disorder, We are looking at people who are living in bodies that don't have progesterone. When you're feeling the disease, you are feeling the disease of low progesterone. People who don't have bipolar disorder, people who are not hallucinating, people who don't have clinical depression, people who have their mental health, their bodies make and have the progesterone that they need. This is preventative medicine. This is preventative medicine, and it works. Okay? So it looks like there are no questions. If there are no questions and you think of some later, just comment down below and I'll get back with you. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching. Comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to know like where you're from. I want to know what your diagnosis is, and I want to know what your plan is to restore your health, because your health is your responsibility and my health is my responsibility. And when we don't take care of our health, it's we suffer individually, like ourselves. When I suffer, I'm suffering alone. When you suffer, you're suffering. If you're going 2 and 3 days without sleeping, that's you who's sleep deprived. Do you know what I mean? So I think we all have to kind of sit and look and take an inventory of how we feel, how our life is going, and if we're satisfied with it. That's the first step. So I didn't look for solutions for progesterone until I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. I was very sick. I was disabled. I couldn't work anymore. I remember thinking, man, I'm 29, but I feel like a child in my brain. My brain feels like mush. I wasn't sleeping, and I just felt like the walking dead. And I had nowhere else to go. So I had to get uncomfortable enough to get fed up enough to do something and to look for answers and to look for solutions. And yeah, the Lord, He led me to Dr. John Lee after I prayed. And many of you are people of faith and you've prayed and you've told me that God led you to my channel. So whether you are a Christian or not, a believer or not, this information is for everybody, because God wants everybody to be well, because that's why He made He made progesterone for our brains, and now we need to take it. Okay? Because it works. It works. It's amazing. No more bipolar disorder. So it's reversible and it's amazing. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any questions. Okay, no questions. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video. I'm not sure when that will be, but I will be back, and I will be here to encourage you and let you know that you're not alone in this disease state. I know that it can make you feel lonely. It can make you feel like nobody understands. You can feel like you're the only person on earth who's suffering. Do not commit suicide if you're somebody who's battling with suicide. There is a suicide help prevention call number that I'm going to put in the description box. You can also send me an email, doriskingonline@gmail.com. I just want you to be encouraged and let you know the way that you're feeling is temporary, and that this isn't like a lifelong sentence. This doesn't have to be a lifelong disease. You can recover, you can heal. Progesterone is the key. It is amazing. It regulates our neurotransmitters, all the things that they talk about that's unknown in bipolar disorder. Oh, the neurotransmitters are off. Right. Progesterone is needed so that they are not off, so that they behave and operate the way that they're supposed to, so that your moods are stable the way that they are meant to be. Okay? So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I keep saying bye because I do love helping and I do love talking and I do want you to be encouraged. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good night. And I will be back in my next video to encourage you to take your progesterone cream. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going until you get your healing. Keep going, keep pressing, keep going. It's difficult. I don't think I talk about that enough. When I started progesterone, I wasn't sitting up smiling with makeup on and earrings and happy. I wasn't. I started it and I'm like, is this working? And what made me keep going is after 3 weeks of being on progesterone, my hallucinations stopped. So I was like, wow. I was like, oh, I'm not cursed. That was the first time I realized I was hallucinating. The first time, 3 weeks of taking progesterone. So I was like, wow, it's clearing up hallucinations. I had no idea I was going to recover from bipolar disorder. I just noticed that my mood was improving and I wasn't hearing demons anymore. So I kept going with the progesterone cream. I had no idea that it would take 7 months, 6 months, 6 or 7 months to restore, but I kept taking it and I felt myself coming out of this really like a hellhole, because living with bipolar disorder is living for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but maybe you can be a witness to this. Living with bipolar disorder type 1 is like living in hell. It was living hell. And I used to wake up a lot of days and say, God, kill me. Or I would just say, I don't even want to wake up. Because walking around in a body that doesn't have progesterone is torture. And so we don't have to live in these tortured states anymore. Can you imagine like walking around in a body and you need insulin and you don't take it? That's going to cause problems. Our blood sugars will be through the roof. It damages the heart. Skin will start tearing open, all this crazy stuff, because insulin has a specific role to regulate blood sugar. The same is true for progesterone. Progesterone has specific roles in the body that are needed for stable and healthy moods, for the expression of our personality, for us to feel good, for us not to feel like wanting to jump off of a cliff. When progesterone is missing, it'll make you want to end things. And that's why, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but that's why so many people commit suicide, because when you don't have progesterone, you can feel dead on the inside, like completely like dead. You're like, what is the point? It is chemical death, it is chemical sadness, and it can be reversed. It can be reversed. It can be reversed. So just keep going, keep going, keep going. Ever since I recovered in 2007, I've been sharing with other people to take charge of their health and to get the progesterone that they need, and it will make all the difference. And I've helped men and women and children who were hallucinating. I've helped men and women who've had bipolar disorder. I've helped men and women who've had major depressive disorder, clinical depression. I've helped men and women who have schizophrenia. And progesterone is the missing piece. Okay? I kept talking for 10 more minutes, but I just want you all to be encouraged and to let you know that you don't have to live in a disease state anymore. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.